Hi, so welcome to the live stream. Some channeling Archangel Raphael, and Raphael will be giving messages based on who's listening. So just before we start, just to mention, at the moment I don't have one-to-one slots up, but I'll be putting some up shortly. And they'll be starting for later on in the month. Um, but I'm also offering, in the meantime, continuing with the shamanic protocol, the 5-minute transmissions, monthly transmissions, and the groups, the new earth energy groups, and the clearing and recalibration groups. And we've also got audios and past groups available on the GEN website. And on the description, I've got links for 2 people in Gaza. Ahmed, who's lost his whole family and needs support, for food and and very basic needs. And Mohammed, who supports a family of 9, and his home's been almost totally destroyed. In Gaza, and he needs support for very basic things again, to sort out his windows and keep out the cold and medicine and so forth. So I've got links for both of them in the description. And even small donations are very helpful because people have lost everything in Gaza and need support just to survive. Yes, I'm just going to let Archangel Raphael come in and speak through me. Hmm. 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 I would like you to know that what I'm seeing is that there is a lot going on generally everywhere in the world. And what I mean by this is that things at the moment are changing a lot more than they ever have. So, for this reason, there is a need for deeper stability within in order to be able to stay grounded. I will also say that those of you who are very much in the light, who are very much about staying connected to the light within, will notice that sometimes what you are experiencing on earth is a sense that you are able to have an impact on the lives of others in ways which are larger. And what I will say is that those of you who are very much in the light, who have cleared a lot out of your pain body, will notice that there are opportunities to serve your purpose in larger ways. And those of you who are perhaps still clearing a lot of pain will notice that what you have is the opportunity at the moment to release a lot more easily than ever. So it is almost like those of you who are not quite there yet, in terms of being in the light, in terms of being able to be in one way or another going forwards on earth in light-hearted ways, you will find that you will actually be able to clear a lot fast. And those of you who are already very much in a light-hearted space within, without trauma and difficulties generally, you will notice that you may even end up feeling like you are able to be there for others much more than before. Generally, I mean, for family, friends. So you will notice a general expansion in your ability to be there for people who are perhaps in a lot of pain, perhaps processing trauma. I will even say that those of you who are very pain free in this life may find yourselves actually being able to be in the limelight and share information with others easily. And that is very much about how much you have been able to clear. So it is good for you to know that when you have done a lot of inner work, gone through a lot and cleared it, you ultimately are able to serve people much more. So it is very good to spend time and energy on your healing, your wellness, especially in this life where everyone is really in the process of becoming well, where everyone is really wanting this, even if they are not conscious of it, where on a soul level people have collectively decided to get to a place of wellness, regardless of where they are coming from in life, regardless of what they have been through, that everyone is aspiring for this, almost to the point where everybody has a sense inside that they are able to actually be having a good life, actually. And if they are not having a life that they want, they are noticing it. They are no longer accepting things as they are and saying to themselves that this is all I deserve, this is all I need. That every single person inwardly, even if they are not saying it out loud, is having a sense inside that actually something needs to change, that life needs to be better, that everyone needs to be included, that it is not about some people having a life that they really want and other people not. It is a time of including all people, all beings in this. And it is also a time where those of you who are perhaps not able to fully get to this place consciously of actually really wanting a better life, a better experience of life, you will find that you will keep attracting opportunities anyway to improve things for yourselves. Because actually, it is just a collective decision everybody has made together. And so, in this way, humanity is moving in the right direction. It may not be apparent at times, but what is absolutely clear is that there is a shift in consciousness, a shift generally, where people are really noticing things which are not right. They are able to say these things out loud without feeling a sense that they are going to be in some way or another persecuted. That even if a threat exists, people are no longer held back by anything and they say what they want out loud. And this is a sign that people are generally very much about improving things for everybody, that nobody is in any way going to be in the space anymore of accepting things as they are. They are not able to do this anymore because of the collective decision you have all made. Because ultimately you decide things together. Ultimately you move forwards together. Ultimately you are all part of each other. And so there are things that happen in life where you actually decide things together. And once that decision has been made, things move in a certain direction and it is not able to be stopped because it is a collective decision that has a very large energy. And it is important to remember these collective energies are very powerful. They are able to carry people who are not conscious along with it. They are able to include everybody, even those who don't consciously want to be included. They will be carried along with it. And because of this, what happens ultimately is that people start to feel inside that certain things are inevitable, that it is no longer a case of needing in any way to do this or that certain things are going to happen anyway, things which really can't be avoided. So after a while, people have a sense that they may as well embrace it. So that is what I am seeing at the moment, that it is really turning around. And I will also say that in the past it was quite the opposite at times, that people had to embrace very negative things in order to be able to be here and keep going. That there were things happening which were so negative, but it was almost like there was something going on collectively that could not be changed. So certain things were accepted. But it is no longer the case that everything in life that you have accepted, put up with, stayed silent about, decided that there is nothing you can do about it, is going to change. So, those of you who are very much about changing things for others will be in the limelight. It is your time at the moment. It is your time to flourish, to be recognized, to be seen, to be heard. So it is important to heal these wounds of the past where you may have felt absolutely in one way or another in need of something in terms of really being able to have a platform, have a place where you are able to share what you know, what you see, where you may have felt absolutely devastated that certain things were not able to be seen and heard, that it is all changing now. So it is important to clear these energies away of pain, frustration, perhaps even feeling really sad to the point of not wanting to be here anymore. That these are old energies, that your part will be appreciated as a change maker. And I also will say that those of you who fit into this category may end up actually finding yourselves very much in the limelight, more than you expect. And as a result, it may be that you have to get used to this in this life because you are needed at this time. I will say one more thing, and that is there are some of you here who wonder where you fit into life. You wonder who you really are inside. You wonder if you are meant to be here to create changes for others, whether you are here to be with yourselves and heal yourselves and help others with their healing. You wonder if you are meant to be doing a bit of both. And and you may even wonder if your path is something else altogether, something that cannot be easily defined. And what I will say to those of you who are not sure where you fit into life is that instead of going into the mode of trying to find answers, to be open to life. Let life show you what you are meant to be doing, who you are, what you carry within, what can be expressed in this life. So it is good to be open, to see what happens. And those of you who really have a sense of what you are here to do, also stay open because you will always be shown greater things about yourself, bigger things. So being open is ultimately the way forwards for all of you. I would like to speak some more about other subjects, and what I have to say is that there will always be a discrepancy between people who are very much about the light and very much about working with energy, working with the inner core of themselves, coming to a place of self realization, being involved so much in their own inner being and processes that they are not so bothered about material life, about accumulating material resources, about being in the limelight. So there will be a discrepancy between those of you who are very immersed in your own inner world and inner work, and those of you who are more material based, more about the outer world, more about what you can gain, more about material resources, perhaps fame and fortune. And what I will say is ultimately the bridge between the two is to recognize that everything that you do in one way or another accumulate, everything that you do gain in the material world is something that is going to be in one way or another transformed at some point in time to something else. So nothing is permanent. Everything is a temporary experience. And for those of you who seek things outwardly, it will ultimately be that you will be more and more inclined to go inwards, because once you have acquired what you want, there is nothing else to do but ultimately come back to a place within of peace, of complete connection to yourself. And those of you who are very focused on connecting to the oneness within will notice the more you do this, the more things naturally come to you, the more you naturally attract the things you need and want, the things that perhaps others aspire for, but you are not focusing on, but they come to you anyway. So, what I will say is the bridge between the two worlds is to recognize that ultimately anything that you want in the material world is going to be temporary, and it is something that will lead you back to yourself in some way or another. And in this way, the two paths ultimately will take you to the same place. But it is that people find themselves in different ways. And some people do it by creating on the earth plane the things they want at the time until they no longer want these things, or until they realize that it is just an experience and they have had it now and they are no longer that bothered. And it is good for you to know that if you feel inside that you are the sort of person who wants a lot on earth, who is very focused on accumulating, on creating the things you want, it is good to recognize that it will lead you back to yourself ultimately. So it is actually just another way to come back to yourself. So it is good to always recognize this, because through this you will be able to have a sense that you are able to do things either way. But I will say that those of you who are very focused on connecting to yourselves and by going within, focused on your inner work, your path is likely to be much smoother, because you will not necessarily go into the mode of creating things that then you no longer want and then having to dismantle things. You will not necessarily find that the path is easy when you go within. There will be a lot that happens within you, a lot that you experience. There will be a lot that you will have to be with. But ultimately, it is going to be much more a path that will take you to the light within faster, ultimately, because you will not be distracted by the material world, by creating things that then you no longer want, or going off on tangents. So that is my main message about this. And it is also good for you to know that when I work with people, I do try to bring them back to themselves. So if there is something that they are focused on, which is not really in alignment with their inner being, I do try to bring them back into alignment, back to themselves. So it is good for you to know this. I would like to speak about one more thing, and that is Every single person who is here on earth is ultimately going to find that they are, in one way or another, affected by collective energies. So even if you have a life that is good on all levels, the energies which are in the collective will affect you because they are strong. And it is important to recognize that nobody can escape some degree of negative energy that is here on earth. And for this reason, it is good to also recognize that the best protection from this is to be, in one way or another, centered on, on the light within, and then to place your attention on the energy you are affected by and ask to be enlightened about it. So, an example can be something that is happening in the world, and as you focus on the light within, you will have the right perspective. And that perspective may be that you are able to have a positive impact on what is going on. And through this, you may be guided to do something. Or it may be that you are guided to stay centered in terms of being in a place of peace and serenity. But whatever it is, you will find answers by going within. And as you spend a few moments focusing on what may be affecting you and come to a place of peace and also clarity about it, you will then be able to walk forwards in a new way. So you are no longer affected by the negative frequencies. You have the right perspective. And also, if you have a part to play in improving things, you will know what it is. So it is important for everybody to do this. Nobody is excluded from this. And through this, you are able to navigate the energies on earth, the collective ones. I have no more to say. I will say about the week ahead that it will generally be a good one. There is nothing negative actually around, but there may be a feeling in you at times that you are clearing some very old energies, perhaps energies that were formed a very long time ago. But that is what I see, a generally clear week ahead. That is all. Hmm. Yeah, so thank you everyone for listening, and yeah, wishing you a really good week ahead, a good weekend as well, and lots of love to all of you.